So we need to get now, whoops, this was stuck to the table but it's not anymore, let's just wipe that down. Your wires, some of you I know have bought paper covered wires, but if you haven't, I'm going to show you how to cover them with the florist tape, this stretchy gutta percha tape. So what I've done is cut quite a long piece off, and I've cut that into two. So here it is, my two strips of tape, and let me see if I can zoom in. Put my glasses on, so okay. And to cover your wires, what you need to do is to pinch the end of the tape over the wire. I don't know if you can see that. It will start to stick just from the heat of your hands, and mine are always quite cold. And then you just need to roll it. Of course it's not going to work now. Pinch it and roll it so that it just attaches itself around the top of that wire. Oh, it's not doing it. It will. It's not sticky to the fingers, but I'm just twisting it round. And then you need to pull and twist because this tape is stretchy. So twist with one thumb and pull. I've got the tape through my fingers. Twist and pull, and keep twisting and pulling. You want to have the tape not at a 45-degree angle, but more at a 100-degree angle. And twist it. So I'm twisting my thumb here, twist it down the wire and pulling just gently on the tape that's going through my fingers. And you just do that all the way to the end and then pull it off, and that covers your wire. And then if you've got little bits that haven't stuck down, just roll them between your fingers and that flattens them all down. And then you'll have a taped wire. It does take a bit of practice. Don't try and do it with the whole width of the tape because that's too thick. So just keep replaying that and having a go. And then once you've done that, cut the wires into about 5 pieces. How long would they be? About 3 inches each. So, have I got one more wire? I'm sure I had. I've done some prepping, I've done quite a few, and I thought, no, I must have used it. Okay, so then you'll have a pile of wires. If you've got paper covered wires, you just need to cut them up. And the next thing we're going to do is to stick the wire to the leaf. So I had a pile of leaves, and I've put some glossy accents on some of them, not all of them, just along the vein and then out along the veins that go down across the leaves, just to give them a bit of sparkle. So I did that as I went, and I've attached the wire. So let me show you how to attach the wire to the back of the leaf. So go back to your paper and cut yourself some tiny little strips. They're about 1 inch wide by about 1/4 of an inch, or 1 inch long by 1/4 of an inch wide. And we are going to stick that to the back of the leaf and attach the wire. So let's zoom in again, if I can go the right way, and then you'll be able to see. So first of all, I'm going to take my tacky glue. All of the leaves have been inked around the edge, and this does get quite messy. So into the tacky glue, in line with the curve in the leaf. You just put your wire onto the glue and then take one of the little pieces that you've cut and press it down over the glue and right up to the wire. Now the glue will squidge out, but don't worry. You want it to stick onto the paper that you've just attached to the wire or the tape, and then just work the glue onto the back of the leaf. You don't see the back side of the leaves, and that, can you see, it's a bit sticky at the moment, it will dry, has attached the wire to the leaf. So let me just get the glue off my fingers, and then along that centre vein just bend the leaf up and over and fold it, I haven't inked this one, so let's just whiz round. And then if you want to add the glossy accents, let's just do one leaf. Just take your bottle, let's get it in the centre here, and squeeze very carefully. It's not going to come out. It's been working all day. Right, it is. Is that in focus? Perhaps not. I'm just going to very lightly, squeeze very gently, just put a line, not to the very tip of the leaf, but just down the centre vein, and then out from the centre along those veins that come out to the edge of the leaf. But only squeeze lightly. You only want just a very faint hint of a vein. And that's how I made all of the leaves that I'm going to wire up now. So, glue on the back, one wire, line your wire up with the centre of the leaf, take your paper piece, put it over the top of the glue, and then press down so that the glue sticks to the paper that you've got on the wire. Squidge it around. And turn it over. And then fold along the vein and add your glossy accents if you're going to use it. You can always shape these with your ball tool as well, and that's the leaf done. So let me bring over my pile of leaves. Here they all are. Just a few I made earlier. Let's just whiz out. I think they look lovely. Just make sure they're all inked. Okay. So now we're going to turn those into a vine. So we need more tape, half the width of the strip on the roll, and then I'm just going to sort my leaves out. So I've got larger leaves all together so I can see what I'm working with, and medium leaves, falling off the table, medium leaves, let's just bend that one, and smallish leaves. Small, small. I've only got about 5 really large ones. Quite a few mediums. The medium and small ones I cut from the 8x8 papers. Medium, medium. Right, and we're going to start with the smaller leaves, and following the same principle, you want to attach your tape onto the wire, and you want the leaf facing away from you, and leave about ½ an inch from the edge of the leaf to where you start to add the next lot of tape, and twiddle it around, pull and twist so that it attaches itself, and then work it down the leaf a little way. Take another leaf. I always bend the next leaf to the left, pinch it so that the 2 wires stick to each other, and then wrap the tape over and twist a few times. Leave yourself some space between the edge of the wire that comes out of the leaf and the point that you attach it to your stem, and then that gives you the flexibility to move that leaf wherever you want it to go. If they're all tightly wired, you can't move them. Okay, let's take the next one. And also it's quite nice to have some longer stalks as well. And you can break this tape off and start it again at any point, but you need to roll quite tightly. So you can go back on yourself and roll another leaf in. And twist. And we're going to make a sort of trailing vine. Okay, and I'm going to lift one up. If I zoom in again. So I'm going to break the tape off. I've lifted that leaf up, and I'm going to tape over it, secure it down. So I've left quite a long piece on that leaf from the edge of the leaf to the point that I've started to tape, and that means that you can move it. So twist over, and then I'm going to add another medium leaf just underneath that, and twist. The tape's still attached and I'm still twisting. Right, I'm going to pull it off. So that's started our vine, and we want to make sure that we work it so that it goes across the bottom of the book. Let's just bring the book back in. Starts down here and it works its way along and up, and it's going to thread through the keyhole on the door plate. So let's keep adding leaves. If you don't like how it's coming out, just take it to pieces and start again. Okay, that's another one. And another one. I'm going to keep adding some width as it goes along by leaving longer between the edge of the leaf here and the point that I'm taping it onto the middle stem. Let's pull that one. and I'm using a mixture of light and dark leaves. I love these lighter ones, the variegated ones. Okay, I'm going to put another one in this side. It's amazing how many leaves you use actually. I think I've probably got about 35. And it's a bit boring sticking all the wires on them. Okay, so it's starting to look like a really nice creepy vine. Okay, now I've broken the wire off. I'm going to do another little side piece, so I'm going to start again, put a new leaf on. So pinch your tape around the wire about ½ an inch away from the edge of the leaf. Twist. Keep it as tight as you can, otherwise this starts to look very bulky. I'm just going to lift that one up so the wires aren't straight. And add one to the side. Again, just lifting it and pinching it. They can always be repositioned later on. And then I'm going to add a larger leaf over the top of that. And pinch your tape over and start pulling and twisting. Oh, again, don't worry if you pull your tape off. Just pinch it round your stalk and start twisting again. And this one I'm going to add to the side of the piece that I was just making, and it just builds it up. We're going to have lots of leaves on this. And pinch those two stalks together and twist. Ooh, where have I gone? So it's starting to look quite dimensional, lots of room in between the leaves, and it's starting to fit across, see, across the bottom of our book. So let's keep going. I'm going to put a big leaf in now, and I'm going to twist the big leaf. I'm going to lift it, give it a bit of a kink, and twist that one on. If you find you're losing length in the stalk that you're wiring onto, you can always just tape on another wire to give you a bit more length to work on. So let's just do that. So mine's getting a bit short. So attach the wire, put the tape round it, and just twist over the joint. That's it. So it's starting to creep around there. Right, now we're going to come up here. So let's have a medium leaf and just put that under that corner. Can you see? Oh, I've gone the wrong way, sorry. It is a bit fiddly, and it's quite nice working with paper. I'm quite used to working with sugar flowers. I make handmade, or used to, I haven't made them for a while, handmade sugar flowers, or sugar craft. I used to teach that at our college, and wiring with sugar flowers is incredibly difficult because they do shatter. And this is quite nice because these leaves aren't breaking. Okay, and twist. And you just keep doing this until, keep measuring it against your book until you've got it to, I wouldn't say a certain length, but I'll zoom the camera out in a minute and we'll just fit it on. It needs to come up. The thought process behind this was I wanted these leaves to creep out through the book plate to make it look as though the book plate had been there for a long, long time and it was all overgrown. Okay, so I'm going to stick a big leaf on here now. I'm going to lift it up though and give it quite a long stalk so that I can move it when this all gets stuck in place. Okay, and twist. And then don't forget, if you feel you're running out of length, just add O-flip. That's come out. Just push it back in again. If it does all fall apart as you're making it, just overlap your stems and put a little bit of tape around them. Pinch them for a couple of seconds just so the heat of your fingers sticks the two tapes back together again. So that's okay. Right, let's have a medium leaf. Over there. Twist it round. Now that may be long enough. So let's bring, I'm going to zoom out and bring the book back in. So I've still got a few leaves left and a few stalks. Okay, let's put my jar back in the middle. And the book plate, let's just rest the book plate on the front like that, and then we've wired so that our leaves come across the front like that. And actually that does fit quite nicely up to the keyhole, which is what I wanted. I'm just going to put one more small leaf on this side and then I'm done. And I'm going to leave a little bit of stalk again so that there's room for movement. As it gets longer you have to be more delicate when you're flicking it around. Okay, so that one's just going to come out there. And I think that is going to fit just right. So the next thing to do is to stick it through the book plate. I've put my book plate together, I've attached the knob, and now I'm going to put this wire through that keyhole and pull it down to the bottom of the keyhole and bend it over the top. I don't know if you can see. So it just fits in there, and then I'm going to turn it over and put some double-sided tape on the back just to hold it on. Not that it will fall out once everything's together. Okay, so as I'm putting the tape on, I'm just going to squash these wires down. You don't want to cut them off because you don't want them to fall out, but we don't want them to be too bumpy when we're sticking the book plate down. Okay, I'm just going to put another bit of tape on there. Oh gosh, I lost it. There it is. Okay. So now we've got our vine leaves attached to our book plate. So the next thing to do is to stick the book plate onto the book, and then to stick some of these bottom leaves down onto the front of our travelogue. You are supposed to be able to see through these leaves. They're not as you would anything that was growing. They're not supposed to all cover each other. But what I am going to do is just put, I've got a few that I didn't put wires on, and I'm just going to add a couple just out of the top here. In fact, I might just add one that's on a wire as well. So I'm going to stick that to the back of the book plate before I stick it down. So one on a wire, and then I'm going to poke two underneath. So let's get another little bit of double-sided tape. Oops, put it on there, lift that up, and just catch it underneath. And I've just left enough wire just to lift that up and give it a bit of a kink. And then that fits on really nicely. So first of all, we're going to stick the plate down. And I've got some all-purpose Bostik glue to do that with. I haven't used the glossy accents, I've just used a really good extra strong clear adhesive, which it's a Bostik one in the UK. I'm not sure what the US or Canadian equivalent is. And what I'm going to do is put it around that inside line of the book plate, and I'm putting loads on. I don't want it to come off, but I'm not going towards the edge because I don't want it to ooze out, and I'm steering clear of the keyhole. So I've just put it on that raised piece at the back, some over the fastener from the knob, and then I'm going to turn it over very carefully, and just taking hold of both ends, I'm just going to position it so that I can still see the E in the word travelogue, and I've got the leaves sticking out at the top here. And then I'm just going to press it down. So I've lined it up with the edge of the paper that I'd stuck on first. I'm just pressing it down. I just want the glue to move around and start to stick underneath. And then I'm going to leave that for a few minutes just to start to stick, and it will stick. Okay, so once the book plate's dried and stuck on, I've got one more leaf just to poke in through the keyhole so that it creeps up towards the handle, or the knob, doorknob, and I'm just going to stick that one down onto the book plate with a bit of this very sticky glue, like that, and then just using my tacky glue, it's not going to stick, let's just hold that down a minute. Then using my tacky glue, I'm just going to go around and stick the leaves that are underneath down onto the front of the binder. So let's stick that one down there, and that will like that, attach the whole of the spray then and keep it from wobbling about. And that one under there. Excuse my arm, let's just hold that one. And then I'm going to do the tip of that one just to hold the spray into the corner. That one's okay. That one there. And then the very end one. Before I stick that one down, I'm just going to stick another one underneath it, flat to the book front. Just there, and then just press that one down over the top. Jiggle it about. And that, oops, should keep it on, and then I'm going to just attach one this side and add the tag, or the chipboard piece, just in the corner there. So let's put some glue on that one. And just poke it under the leaves, press it down. And then I'm just going to stick that leaf down on the top there. I've just stuck half of it, so half of it's raised. Let's test it. Brilliant. So that's all attached. And then just to finish off, I've got some flowers. Whoops. And I'm just going to put them on some foam tape and poke them in through the vine leaves. So let's cut some tape. So foam tape in the middle of them, and then I'm just going to dot them about so that they peep out through the leaves. And more foam tape. one under there, and a blue one, now that one I'm just going to stick onto the back of the leaf that's raised and the wire. Press it down, and then I'm going to put one in here. I think I'm going to put the blue one in there and just poke it through so that it's also sticking up. So a bit more tape on the back of that. And then I'm just going to bend it so the tape's on the back, and then just poke it down through the leaves and press it down. And then I'm just going to put one up here, I think. Just coming up through those leaves. There, and then just jiggle the leaves around, and that's it. Oh, apart from these two leaves up here, and I'm just going to stick those under the book plate. Oops. So a bit more glue on the back, and just slide them under there and overlap them so that the leaf that, whoops, my jars come out, so that the leaf that's coming out of the top just sits above the flat ones. On there, and then I'm just going to catch that one down just at the very edge. Oops. Just hold it until it sticks. And that is our binder finished. So I hope you've had fun making it. If you've got any questions, email me. I'd be happy to help out. This is really trial and error, but I'm sure you'll have fun doing it. Oh, one thing I did do on my original travelogue was just to put glossy accents on these flowers, just on the yellow bits, just to shine them up, and then just on the blue here. So I'm going to do that and leave it to dry. So have fun making your cover, and I'll see you in part 4 for the first of the pages in the log.